Hey, I'm Dwayne. This is a lesson on how to drive a straight shift. First thing you need to know is you've got 3 pedals down here. You get down a little closer here and look. You got gas, which all vehicles have. You got brake in the middle, and you got a clutch on the left. So the only new thing that you would have to learn to drive a straight, or as we call it, a manual transmission, is the pedal on the left, which is your clutch. Okay, so what you got here is you've got a shifter right here. I'll show you that in a minute. This engine puts pressure to this box under the truck, which is known as a transmission. That transmission puts power back to the wheels. Between the engine and transmission, you have a device known as a clutch. And then you have another device known as a pressure plate. And that pressure plate puts pressure on the clutch. Okay? When you mash this clutch pedal here, what it's doing, it's separating those 2 devices, so that when the engine is turning this clutch, it's not turning the pressure plate. As you release this clutch, they come together and both will turn together, which will put power to your wheels. Okay, now we'll take a look at our gear shifter. Okay, here's the gear shifter. And this particular truck is a 5-speed. You have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then an R. Now R stands for reverse. Okay, so what we got to do, the first thing we got to do, we have to put our foot on the brake so the vehicle will not roll. Then you mash the clutch all the way in. This vehicle, most vehicles these days, will not do anything if you don't do that first. You'll sit here and it will not start. You put your foot on the brake, it still will not start. The older ones would. But you mash the clutch in and you see it'll start. Now we got to back out of this driveway, so I'm going to push this over. With the clutch in, it'll slide right in. Put it right where the R is. Okay? And then, now if I were to just pull my clutch out all at one time, that's what happens. Because it can't take off that quickly. What we got to do, we have to ease the clutch out kind of slowly. When you hear that engine begin to slow down, release your emergency brake and just tap the gas just a little. Ease the clutch on out until you get it all the way out. And now we're rolling, we're backing up. Now I'm mashing the clutch in and touching my brakes because we're at the end of the driveway. Now I pull it out of reverse. We're at a stop. I'm pulling it out of reverse with the clutch and brake applied. Put it in first gear, do the same. Ease out on the clutch just a little. You'll hear the engine slow down a little. Tap the gas as you bring the clutch on out. Just kind of give the gas a little tap. Then you can take your foot off the clutch and you're moving. When you get up to about where your RPMs are between 2 and 3,000, it will show a 2 and 3 here on the RPM meter. When it gets up between 2 and 3,000, we'll go to second gear. We're coming up on a stop sign, so I'm going to have to stop again. Now when I stop, I'm already in first gear. Just by habit, I always check and put it back in first. Alright, now watch my feet as we take off. I'm going to turn loose the brake and go to the gas and ease out on the clutch at the same time, but not all the way out, just a little bit. You see, you can just kind of bounce the vehicle by doing like that. Alright, now we'll bring the clutch on out carefully. Apply the gas, and we go. Now we're getting about 3,000 RPMs. You can hear the engine revving. Mash the clutch and go to 2. We're in second gear. I'm about 2,500 RPMs now. I'm gonna mash the clutch and go to 3. We're getting back up over 2,000 RPMs again. I'm gonna mash the clutch and go to 4. Now we're on a 2-lane road. I won't need to go all the way to 5. We're coming up on a curve and a hill. I don't need 5th gear. But if we were on the interstate, then I would have to put it in 5th gear. But what's going to happen, we're getting ready to go up a hill. Alright, this vehicle is not going to like being in 4th gear on this hill. If you've ridden a 10-speed or a 12-speed or a 16-speed bicycle, you'll know that when you're in high gear, it's hard to pedal up the hill. You have to bring your gears down. So what I'm going to do, I'll mash the clutch and just do it in reverse. Drop into 3rd gear, Pull the clutch out and we go again. You hear it's got more, it's able to go better that way. Push the clutch and we can pull good. And that's how you drive a manual transmission or a straight shift.